everybody, welcome back. Oh, wait, I'm going to redo that. Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. I got a comment very recently by somebody saying that I made them jump out of their skin by my normal intro, which is, it's a bit abrupt, it's a bit annoying, maybe viscerally annoying to some people. And it's funny, actually, in this, all jokes aside, how that came to be, because if you look at my very first shows, and I did a test show that never will see the light of day, but my son helped me do a test show. My very first one was very subdued. It was like, hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. And it wasn't trying to, be super flat or whatever. It just, I don't know, the personality of Record-ology sort of evolved and created its own form, which is weird. And sometimes when I'm particularly boring, my wife will be like, why don't you like Record-ology more? It's like this persona. I don't know how it happened. But anyway, so eventually it became this welcome back to Record-ology. And I could see how that'd be a little abrasive to people, but it is what it is. So if I startled you, if I scared you, I'm really sorry. Okay, so today is going to be an awesome show. So before we go to the intro, I want to tell you a little bit about what we're doing today. So we have a hot off the presses list of records that are coming out for RSD Black Friday, Record Store Day Black Friday. Now you may be saying to yourself, didn't we do Record Store Day back in April? We did. So what is RSD Black Friday? It's not the same thing as Record Store Day. In fact, it's not even really called Record Store Day. It's called RSD Black Friday. What does that mean? And is there anything good on the list? Well, let me tell you this. There is some really good stuff on this list. This list is smaller than the full-blown Record Store Day list, about half the size, but there are some gems. I think there's something for everybody here. I have gone ahead and selected my top 5 picks, and I'm going to share it with you coming up in just a second, and you're not going to want to miss this. Or should I say, you're not going to want to miss this.
You're watching Record-ology.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Also, a friendly reminder, if you haven't thought about it recently, we make record adapters. Yes, we do. We make these 2-inch Seeberg adapters. We make 45 adapters in a variety of colors, including exclusive colors, which I don't have handy right now, but believe me, they exist. But let's go ahead and jump into this. Record Store Day, as you may know, is a big event where independent record stores get very exclusive record pressings and releases of records. It's very, very fun. You have to go wait in line. People are up, sometimes waiting all night in line for this stuff. And once they're gone, they're gone. And then they're put up on eBay for exorbitant prices, which nobody should pay for. But it's fun to be there for that event. That's a big event every year in April. Fairly recently, they started doing something called RSD Black Friday. Now, Black Friday, of course, is the unofficial kickoff of the holiday shopping season. It happens the day after Thanksgiving. So what they did was they started doing this RSD Black Friday event where the day after Thanksgiving on Black Friday, they release a bunch of exclusive records. This has nothing to do with the April list. This isn't early April 26 stuff. It's not anything related to April 25 stuff. This is its own deal. These releases are only available as part of this event. But unlike Record Store Day in April, RSD Black Friday does it a little bit differently. These records are released on Black Friday, but are meant to be available as long as supplies last throughout the holiday season. It's really sort of their holiday event to get people shopping and gifting records, exclusives, and things throughout the holiday season. And as you know, I love Christmas. Christmas. I love it. And so this is a really kind of a cool tie-in, although it doesn't explicitly say Christmas. Usually you're not buying Halloween presents for people, although I love Halloween too. So, that could be cool too. But anyway, so this is the list for this year's Black Friday Record Store Day RSD event, and they also have a little bit different rules. Whereas in Record Store Day in April, you are not allowed to sell as a record store, independent record store. You are not allowed to sell your records ahead of time. You're not allowed to do anything to make it harder for any one person over another to get them, and you can't sell them online. However, with the Black Friday event, they actually can sell them online. I think they have to wait a week after Black Friday to do so. Now you may be saying, well, this sounds great. It sounds like I'll have a better shot at getting these things. That may not be the case because, as it turns out, the quantities here, and as you will see, are just as limited as the Record Store Day in April event. So without further ado, I've gone through and combed the list so you don't have to. Actually, that's not true. You need to comb the list because this is very personal. What you're going to listen to is probably going to be a lot different than what I'm going to listen to. And there's something for everybody here. But I've gone through and picked my top 5, and let's jump into it. So here is what you're greeted with when you check out the list. Obviously, Google Record Store Day, recordstoreday.com, and you will very easily find the list that they have on there. And you can see kind of the top of the list here. I want to show you kind of how this list works. So on the left side, there's a little eye that you can click on, and basically it shows you a preview of what the item looks like, the cover art. Obviously the title, the artist, the label, the format, something to be very particular of because sometimes they'll do cool stuff like 45 RPM, 12-inch singles, 7-inch releases, picture discs. This is all about fun and unique. So this isn't your run-of-the-mill regular records. A lot of time these are pressed on color, or splatter, or picture disc, even liquid-filled records. If you are a Kiss fan, you like some Eric Carr, there's some of that in this list as well, and I believe those are liquid-filled, at least one of them is. And then the release type. So is it a Record Store Day exclusive? Is it a Record Store Day first? Etc., etc. And then this is very important. Go all the way to the right-hand side and look at the quantity. That's how many they're making. And you'll notice 1,500, 1,700, 1,250. They're not making a lot of some of these. There's an exception we're going to get to. There's always an exception, right? But this is very limited. So you are not guaranteed to find anything, which is part of the fun, and it makes it slightly terrifying. As much as I love Patsy Cline music, as you know, and I really wanted to get my hands on that Record Store Day exclusive back in April, Patsy Cline record. I think they made 28 or maybe 3,000 copies of that. I barely got one. It was the last one they had, and if I didn't get it, I'd be out of luck. I had a buddy who could have helped me out perhaps, but otherwise those records go for ridiculous prices that nobody should pay afterwards. People get them and they flip them, and that's a whole separate discussion. I don't think they should do it that way. But anyway, so let's jump into my top 5 picks. There's usually a Peanuts / Charlie Brown record, and this event is no different. We've got the Vince Guaraldi Trio with a Charlie Brown Christmas. This is a classic, and I've got a couple versions of this, and I don't need another version of this, but I may have to snag this one. It's very, very cool. What makes it different, you may say? It is a gatefold pop-up. So you open it up, and then there's a gatefold image, and I'm going to show it to you in just a second, but before I do that, 4,000 copies, and it's an RSD exclusive. So this is the only place you're going to find this. It's not going to be at Walmart, etc. And here's a picture of what it looks like. Isn't that cool? It opens up. It's just so beautiful. It's just a black vinyl record. I wish they would have done a colored vinyl record. No, there's different versions that are out there. You know, because this is one of those perennial records that there's going to be a Target exclusive version that may be a Target exclusive color. There'll be a Walmart exclusive color. But for Record Store Day, the exclusivity is purely around the gatefold, which is cool. That being said, how long are you going to look at that thing? You know what I mean? It's going to be like, cool, this is neat. I'm going to fold it back up and put it away. So I don't know. I mean, it's I'm sure the recording is just as good as any of the others. There's nothing special about that. The Fantasy label is very closely associated with the Peanuts music, the Vince Guaraldi Trio stuff. I think the label is unimaginative, but it is what it is. It's the Fantasy label. I think they could do more with it in terms of the physical design of the label itself. But there it is. So that's my first pick. These are in no particular order, by the way. Next up is Alan Silvestri, one of my favorite composers who's done a lot of great movie music, including Polar Express, and like everybody knows, Back to the Future. I'm a huge Back to the Future nut. I think it's the best movie trilogy of all time. I just love it with all of my heart. I've been a fan since the 80s. Like, I'm an OG fan. I didn't see it in the theaters. I was a little too young. I saw it on a VHS tape, maybe 86, 87, just after the fact. Anyway, they are coming out with an exclusive Record Store Day trilogy album of the Back to the Future score. And I've said this before too. When it comes to soundtracks, I love soundtracks. I love them so much. I've always been a soundtrack guy, but I'm specifically a score soundtrack guy. I like the orchestral music. I don't really care for the pop music, even for movies that are so passionate about, like The Goonies. Like, I don't really want to get the soundtrack album that has all the pop music, because I can get that elsewhere. It's not as exciting to me. What I really want is that score. So I have the score version of that record, which I've shown on here a few times. So this is just that. This is the score. And if you like Back to the Future music and you're into records, which is probable since you're watching this video, it's difficult to find Back to the Future on vinyl except for the picture disc of the first movie, which is a soundtrack. It's got a couple suites of music, of orchestral music from the movie, but it's primarily the songs, the pop songs in there. So finding the actual scores on vinyl are tricky and very expensive. So the fact that this is going to be made available is a good thing. I also want to use this as a quick opportunity to talk about pricing. Record store day pricing is not too ridiculous most of the time. Now, I will say there's a caveat there. Sometimes some of the sets, the multi-disc sets, can get pricey, expensive, but a lot of the records, even though they're super exclusive, they'll just be like a $30 record like you would find at Walmart or anywhere else. I feel like they're not price gouging people. And I've met the Record Store Day people back at CES. I met them. Great people that run this event, and I love what they're doing. So the pricing, I don't expect to be super expensive. The price gouging happens on the other end when people resell these records on eBay and whatnot. That's where the price gouging happens, which I don't think is good. So, 1,900 copies of this, and I hope I get one, but I wouldn't be surprised if I don't, because that's a low number, even by Record Store Day standards. Next up, we have the next Wicked soundtrack. Now, if you went and saw the Wicked movie, you will perhaps be a bit bemused by the fact that it's only part one. They don't really advertise that when you go see that movie, or the soundtrack to it. It's a part one. There's actually a sequel, which you didn't find out until you got to the end of the movie, and you had to wait a year for it. Well, a year is coming up, and the second part of that movie is called Wicked for Good, and it is the second half of that film. So there's going to be a tie-in here with Record Store Day. There's a couple different tie-ins, but the one I want to talk about today is the soundtrack. So it's the Wicked for Good soundtrack. Now this record, you will be able to buy regular versions all over Amazon. It's too big of a title to only release here. In fact, my version of the first Wicked soundtrack from last year is just the cheapest one I could find on Amazon Black Vinyl, and that's fine for me. I just love it. It's high quality sound. I love the music, and there were a lot of exclusives, and they got very expensive very quick. You'll notice here that there's not really any album artwork. They haven't released the artwork for the movie yet. That's why. They're keeping very tight reins on a lot of this stuff. So this is by Republic Records, 15,000 copies here. So a lot more than we saw with Back to the Future. That's a big number for a Record Store Day release, 15,000 copies. That's, I wouldn't say edging into the territory of a regular commercial release, but it is exclusive, but it'll be easier to get because they are anticipating a lot of attention on this title. I love the music from the first. I'm sure I'll love the music for this one as well. It's a 2 LP set. If I don't get this version, I will be totally happy getting the cheaper version that I can find on Amazon or somewhere else. But something to be aware of, that it's here, it's coming, and I'm excited to see what they do with it. I'm not sure what else it's gonna be a picture disc, or if it says LP picture disc, so it is gonna be a picture disc. So we'll have to see how that goes. Next, we're going back to the 80s with Aha, Take On Me, the 40th anniversary EP. I actually have a picture sleeve 45 of this. It's one of my favorite 80s songs. It's so evocative. It takes you straight back to the 80s. It's one of those feel-good songs that just takes you there. It's transformative. It's transportive. It's amazing. I love it. And you know this song, Take On Me. It's a great song. It's a really, really good song. And the music video is cool too. So this is a very cool looking record. It's a red vinyl record. 3,000 copies are being made available. And it's an EP of just different versions of this song. 40th anniversary extended version, the 1984 single version, the 2018 symphonic version, the 2017 acoustic version. This is cool. So if you love that song, there's a bunch of new ways to enjoy it. So that is really cool, and I am excited to hopefully pick that up as well. That was number 4, by the way. I haven't done a good job of keeping the count as we go here. Number 5, and then my final on the list, is D-Light, the very best of D-Light. And I love this band. It's a band that I became a fan of when I was a teenager. I just think the music is wacky and fun and unique. And I've been listening for a long time. This is a cool release. It's as trippy and colorful and quirky as you would expect for D-Lite. It is on this Splatter 2-disc set. 3,000 copies on Rhino, and this is a RSD exclusive. It looks really cool, so I will definitely pick this up if I get a chance to. But that's my list. Let me know in the comments below, what's the number one? Give me a list of one, your top pick from the list. So if you haven't seen the list yet, go check out the list. I'll put a link in the description below. They're not a sponsor. It's just something I want to share with you guys because I'm passionate about it. Check out the list. Let me know what your top pick for the Record Store Day RSD Black Friday is, and I can't wait to chat with you in the comments about that. My friends, that is going to do it for today. Don't forget to join us on our podcast. We did a recent show where we were talking about some very cool stuff, and we did a giveaway, so you never know what's going to happen there. And don't forget our $1 membership program, all that cool stuff. My friends, that is going to do it for today. So happy record hunting. We'll see you next time.